Good evening, friends. Welcome to a less populated but still very special episode of Corporate Crash Course. On the heels of our wondrous raccoon adventure, we've decided to throw all logic out the window and venture into the lands known as the Ultraviolet Grasslands. Yay!
Woo!
How long will we play this? We don't really know, but I'm actually really looking forward to this because uh, I love Luca's art. This has been something that's been on my list for a very long time, um, and it might be too weird for me to even make work, but we'll see what happens. As always, I'm Cody. I'm gonna be your judge, game master tonight, whatever we're gonna call it, and I'm joined by two of my friends. Um, I'm joined by Mike and Nick, and I will let them introduce themselves.
He said your name first.
Well, as Nick has so kindly pointed out, I am Mike. Tonight I am playing Jorah, who is a hunter in
Do I
the
norm it?
wilderness. Sure. That's Game of Thrones, right?
It's Game of Thrones.
I haven't seen Game of Thrones in. What year did Ned Stark die?
Oh God.
Do I need a spoiler?
I don't think it's a spoiler when it's things that are culturally relevant still.
Yeah, I mean, Sean Bean walked into the scene and everybody knew what was coming.
Pretty much.
I am Nick, and I will be playing Tars Hill Climber, whose primary function has been as a navigator.
Cool. Cool. So yes, folks, we are in fact playing the Ultraviolet Grasslands second edition, the very beautiful hardcover book that I have here from Exalted Funeral down in the U.S. And well, I'd say a decent acquaintance of mine, Mr. Luke Rayak, living over somewhere across the pond from us here in Canada. I love it. I love his art. I love the weird way his brain likes to put things together. Um, and it's going to be so the way that this I don't know how much the two of you know about the way this game is kind of built or how much your audience really kind of knows. UVG is meant to be a bit of a road trip game. Um, the goal, apart from anything that kind of comes up in game, is really to get to the eponymous Black City, which exists on kind of the other side of the landmass. It's exemplified by kind of the setting sun in the west, right? Hold on, I'm checking
Most
the map.
days.
I believe it's the west, but we'll see. To figure out what the heck is going on. It's a very kind of low tech, high magic world, and it is it's a long trek out that way. So the only thing that anybody is really kind of sure about is that the place exists, and even maybe we're not sure of that. So yeah, the game is kind of fucking around in the desert and seeing what happens. So I hope everybody's interested in that, because if anybody can make fucking around in the desert entertaining, I hope it's us.
No pressure, though.
But we'll see. Because we're not going to start in the desert. We are going to start in the beautiful space that is known as the Violet City. The sun rises from the kind of other side of the circular sea. Violet City is located on the now that I have it in my head, the western edge of the giant kind of circular lake, known in game as the Circular Sea. And the sun rising up over top, as it kind of ascends, a massive shadow is kind of cast over top of the city that gradually kind of comes down as the sun goes higher and higher into the sky, and it exemplifies the kind of pinnacle around which the entire city is built, which is the Violet Citadel. The Violet Citadel, the city itself, sitting on the edge of this lake, this sea, sits high up on a coast and kind of exists on like a small kind of pinch that travels inwards into the sea a ways. And the Violet Citadel sits right at the edge of this pinch. It sits beyond kind of the main landmass, but it's supported by four skinny, large rock pillars, which are like natural standing pillars that anchor the four corners of this kind of lofting dome of a citadel. As you kind of move further back inland, you kind of get to more of a densely populated, kind of rich, more elite area with 3-4 story buildings. Coming further inland beyond the first wall, you run into more of a squalid section. There are some more shops. It's a little more run down, not as well taken care of and such. And then beyond the wall that kind of surrounds that part of the city is just the trail that leads into the west. Yeah, the west, the low road and the high. And so that's kind of where we're starting. I imagine the two of you in the city. Is that fair?
I think we're all imagining us in the city. That's the whole point.
I hope so. So yeah, so you guys find yourselves in this beautiful city. The light kind of the light being cast over the lake kind of drenches the portions of the city in this beautiful kind of acid violet light. I'm referencing a very beautiful watercolor painting that Luke has done right at the start of the Violet City, and I love it so much. I love this book. So tell me what you guys think you'd be doing here in the Violet City.
I'm running a little low on funds right now. So I'm probably looking at maybe checking out any job boards, maybe hanging out. Actually, you know what, a good spot might be to hang out at the gate where the road kind of comes into the city. Watch for caravans heading in, maybe people getting set up for a trek, or maybe spending some time in the inner ring of the city looking for rich people who either need some entertainment or some instruction for on maybe some stories.
Well, the rich people are always in need of entertainment, Nick. But I'll let you pick. Which way are you going? Are you basically going towards the outer wall or the inner wall?
Let's start with the inner wall. Try my luck at the less risky proposition first.
Okay. The inner wall. You're standing kind of, near one of the gates at the end of the wall. And the gate sees a lot of traffic going in and out between kind of the um, call it the rich part of the city and the poorer part of the city. And the weird part is it's really not just human traffic. The first thing that both of you notice in this freaking city is there are cats everywhere. So many cats constantly underfoot, sitting up on window ledges, on roofs, and they're not. While there are a ton of them, you see three kind of main types of cats. You see cats that seem to have a single horn coming out of the front of their head. There are ones that are not horned, but are completely black. And then the third ones are half glass. Yep. We're going with that. They still move like cats, though, but they're half glass. Do with that what you will. And even maybe as Tars is kind of sitting there trying to eye up some people, one of the cats kind of saunters past, and you think maybe as you're kind of watching it, it looks like its little front paws have weirdly human hands. And as you kind of think that, there's this little voice in your head that's kind of like, no, just whispers and kind of then trails off in your mind.
I take it from that's abnormal then.
I mean, have you seen cats with human hands?
I mean, I haven't. Has Jorah though? I don't know.
I don't know. How regularly are you in the city?
I'm
I like to
probably around often enough.
To resupply.
Okay, it still looks weird. Fine.
Yeah.
Even when you see it, each time you see it, it never fully settles for you.
Oh yeah.
Because they're like, why are they walking? They're still walking on their front feet, but they're patting on these weird hands. They're not like nice soft little kitty peats, which are easier to use. These longer
I
feet.
just
Anyway,
kind of subconsciously go like this. Like, oh.
it's like, yeah, it's like, you know, the deer from Adventure Time when he pulls the hooves off and he's got the little fingers underneath. It's reminiscent of that. But yeah, sure, Hillary. We could just call them fluffy tails versus thin tails versus no tails. It's probably easier that way. Who's no tails? Probably the glass cats. Anyway, so yeah, So Tars is trying to look for some people to maybe do some entertaining for. Mike, what's Jorah doing in the city?
Looking to resupply. Going through the markets and looking for, well, supplies.
Okay. Lots of places to resupply. So in the poor section of the city, it's basically an open air black market. The markets are just stalls that kind of exist. There's really no established shops per se. You know that there are more in the rich side of the city, but typically they tend to run their prices higher because they're trying to attract a more snobby clientele who they think won't know the difference. So sticking to, you know, kind of the west side of the wall, we'll call it. You know that you'll get it might be a little bit dodgier, and you might have to, you know, really watch and trust who you're dealing with. But you typically can find good product cheaper. Is there anything in particular you're looking for, or just like food?
Yeah, just a sack of supplies, really. Which
Okay.
would be, you know, food would be the big one.
An older man, with a uh, with a metal plate in the side of his face. and an eye that's effectively been replaced by a mechanical kind of dial of some sort. Sees you kind of looking over. Is just kind of like, yeah, sure, I've got supplies if that's really all you're looking for.
It
Well,
is.
I can tell based on the look of you. You seem like quite the experienced adventurer of some sort. We don't really see a ton of those in this city here often. Just figured maybe you'd be more interested in uh some nicer weapons or whatnot. But no, you know what? I won't bother you. It's okay. You just want these supplies? Okay. He kind of like picks up the sack and like puts it down in front of you and is just kind of holds out his hand. I don't know what the running cost of what the going rate for a sack of supplies would be.
Well, premium basic supplies I have is 2 cash.
Sure. We'll say 2 cash then.
Well, hang on now. What about these weapons then?
Oh no. You know what? I spoke too soon. They're probably not that good. Like, it's kind of the usual stuff. I get things just brought in from it's been looted off bodies and whatnot.
No, if you think they're not very good, then I'm sure they're not worth my time.
Wait. No. Sorry. I mean, maybe just hold on 1 second. And he kind of like scuttles back. And what does he come back with? I don't know, Cody. What does he come back with? I'm trying to find something here.
How back is he? That's not how that goes.
He comes back out. Um, with a he comes back out with something in a cloth. In kind of like a small cloth sack. And he opens the top of it, and you see a bone white revolver.
Hmm.
He says, you'd have to you'd have to be careful. It is a pure porcelain rifle. It is strengthened enough to take the brunt of the muzzle velocity necessary to fire a projectile. But if you drop it on the ground, it might shatter.
Hmm. I don't know. Guns aren't really my speed. Do you have anything else?
Hmm. You know what, mate? I might have something else that was taken from the porcelain kingdom. Give me a second. And he turns around and goes back inside, comes back out again with another very similar looking kind of wrapped object, but it's much larger. He kind of puts it down on his table and unwraps it again. And it's a bone white mace with a huge kind of spiked section at the top.
Hmm.
And he kind of says, "Yeah, this one." So again, this is a ceramic mace. Um, I don't know how the heck they make these things. They're brilliant. You can beat someone senseless over the head with this thing, and it won't break. But if you drop it the wrong way, it's probably gonna shatter. Um, I just gotta warn you, because porcelain weaponry is kind of rare in these parts. So I'm looking to I'm looking to maybe what do you think? Like 70 cash?
Okay, let's pretend I'm an idiot and I don't know anything about different types of weapons. Why would I want a weapon that can shatter as opposed to a good old-fashioned spear?
Because you know the fact that the nature of the material that the ceramic is made from means that the points that are on kind of the sharpened top section um, will just eviscerate most things. A spear is pretty good. A spear um, will do a lot of damage, but if you stab somebody and kind of pull it back out, the wound can be sewed up, and the person can survive. But you take this thing to somebody, you will be like raking their flesh into ribbons. And that's my fanciful, flavorful way of saying it does more damage to things.
I see. I don't know. I'm a bit clumsy myself. I don't trust not to drop something like that. Anything sturdier or cheaper?
Well, I mean, cheaper. Cheaper's all you want. I mean, yeah, I guess I can always do something like that. And he kind of turns around and he walks back and he comes back out with an armful of like just miscellaneous weapons that he puts down on the table. He's got like daggers and you see a battle stick. He's got like a normal mace and like a scimitar.
Okay. Yeah, I could use a couple of daggers and a battle stick.
I love that in the book. The weapon name is just Dagger, a cult classic.
It is a classic.
Daggers. Yeah, okay. I can give you those for 4 cash each.
Does that sound like a lot to me?
I mean, it's not a lot.
All right, why not? I'll take one dagger then.
Oh, really? Okay. For 4. All right, here you go.
Do I get the feeling I've just been ripped off?
You get the impression he maybe wanted to haggle.
Ah. I'm going to say haggling is clearly not my strong suit.
Should have taken that profiteering skill.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, what about the battle stick?
Battle stick. Okay. Well, these are a little bit more common. So I could
Stick.
yeah, it's a stick, but well, it's maybe a stick with like a razor blade attached to the end of it or something. It's not just a stick.
It's the old
Sure,
it's
just
the
a
old
stick.
baseball bat with nails.
Yeah, driven through it. Yeah, I could do it for 2.
I think I'll stick with the dagger.
Okay, suit yourself. He turns and he starts dealing with another person, who is very interested in the porcelain mace, which he has just left on the counter. And we'll go back over to Tars. Sure. You see a group of younger looking. Okay.
inhaler.
Yeah, if we need to, yeah.
Struggle to breathe.
Yeah.
She makes that.
Yes, so you see coming out of the gate a group of, we'll say, 4 younger nobles. They're dressed in kind of the high fashion of the city, so very like kind of large, angular collars and you know, bright purple and pink robes. And you know that those are typically the types that might be easiest to kind of con a story or two out of for some money.
All right, I'll kind of dodge through the crowd and kind of do a little. What time of day is it? Did you say? Is it morning right now?
Morning.
Or morning?
Mm-hmm.
Dodge through and do like a little, not little, a big dramatic bow in front of them and good morning. I have you heard?
One of the girls immediately is just like, "Oh, how quaint!"
Yeah, well, I'm dressed in nomad robes, carrying a staff,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
also have, if you'll humor me, a pet rat. Pet
Oh,
rat
great.
with maybe boar's tusks. I think would be fitting.
All right.
Propped up on my shoulder. Maybe just like stuff jingling on my backpack. um, would you discerning people care to hear a story of the wastes?
Um, the group is immediately kind of a Twitter with interest. One of the guys though is kind of like, "Well, we shouldn't indulge them. Don't give them any money. That's ridiculous. They can, if they're not working hard enough to make their own money, we don't need to supply it for them." But eventually the group kind of comes around, and one of the girls is just kind of like, well, how about you tell your story first, and then we'll judge what we think is worthy of for payment for it.
Of course, the joy of the story is often payment enough. And as I was bowing, I was taking off my Steplander hat, which I'll now just kind of toss just up ahead of me a bit. Look for maybe a brick or something that I can like a block that I can hop up on and launch into. I'm gonna say a short. I'm gonna go with an adventure with, maybe a little bit of a forbidden romance. These are, it's a young crew, a little bit of a forbidden romance mixed in with the adventure, something like that.
Pretty good. As they're watching, you see them do a number of things. So you jump up on this kind of this block of a step or whatnot, and the 2 men kind of come around and pull. Um, well, let's make it really weird. One of them was walking with a cane of some sort, just not like needing it for support, but just as a like a walking stick. But as you're about to start, he kind of like pushes a button on it, and you see the thing kind of like unravel slightly, and from it it kind of like extends outwards multiple ways, and from it you get kind of a small table with 4 chairs kind of around the edge of it. They're very like not industrial, it's not the right word that I'm going for, but just kind of like um scaffolding, kind of minimalistic looking. And so they sit down and they're trying to kind of get comfortable to hear your story. One of the women from her bag pulls out like a little coffee pot looking thing full of a black liquid that's steaming. Kind of pours herself a small cup and starts sipping from it. Another one pulls out a long kind of tube which he sticks in his mouth, and suddenly starts like you see smoke kind of coming out on the one side. Um, and they listen intently. I mean, at one point, one of the couples kind of maybe seems to get a little bit bored, and then kind of start chatting. But for the most part, you finish your story, and they all kind of like, "Oh, bravo, bravo." Uh, what do you think, Kenneth? How much should we give the man? Oh, as you know, and he, one of the guy who had the walking stick that set up the whole table, kind of reaches inside and like looks inside of his jacket and kind of shuffles some things around, and he pulls out a 30 cash note, kind of puts it in your hat, kind of like, thank you, appreciate the entertainment, sir. That's cheaper than we would spend most times for a good half hour of time. So all the best.
If you ever need to while away another half hour, look for Tars.
They pack back up and then kind of venture further into the the west side of the city.
Okay. That was a lucrative endeavor for Tars. I think it's time for a treat. Might go look for like a nice brunch. A nice brunch, but not so nice that they won't let me in with Sliver.
Well, then you got to choose. Are you going east side or west side of the wall?
West
So,
side is the
North side.
rougher. Okay.
Yes.
I'll go west side.
Okay.
And just look for like a busy place.
Yeah. So again, being that it's very much like a black market of sorts, there's no established restaurant. You kind of end up um, walking up to like a literal kind of table that somebody just has a couple of chairs sitting out in front of. But they're cooking like eggs of some sort and maybe like a meat. And they have a little sign kind of displaying, yeah, some kind of a breakfast for I don't know, for 5 cash.
All right. Yeah, I'll sit down and ask them if they've ever heard the story of Sam I Am and his Technicolor brunch. And then I'll begin.
Great. Okay. Never mind. I'm okay for the moment. Okay. Yeah, you dig in. I mean, the eggs are eggs. Colored eggs would be weird, man. They're just white with like yellow yolk. Who would ever eat something that's not, that's unnatural like that? But the meat that you eat, is that does come to you is like a very deep kind of green color. And you realize it's probably been harvested from some sort of large chitinous insectoid creature. Probably out near the waist. Uh, you know, real kind of beef and pork that we're familiar with is a lot harder to get your hands on. Um. Okay, I'm gonna need a couple of minutes, guys. My apologies. Cool. Sorry about that, gang. Sick toddler again. It happens. It's no fun. Yes, so Nick Tars was sitting down to have a delicious breakfast. And at the same moment, another patron sits down beside you, takes out another one of those kind of carafes full of a dark brown liquid, and pours themselves a cup.
Do I know what they're drinking?
How frequently have you been to the city before?
I'd say frequently enough, like and like overnight stays, not like just
Yeah.
go pop in to resupply.
So you're pretty sure they're drinking what's known in the city as cat coffee. It's a narcotic made from black cat droppings.
Hmm.
Okay, Tars abstains.
Okay.
More
Uh,
to avoid the judgmental looks from Sliver.
fair. Okay. Mike, what is uh sorry, what do you think Jorah wants to do after now that he's got his dagger and his fighting stick?
I got my supplies.
You did get
I
your
am
supplies.
good to sit down and have something to eat. Maybe find a place to stay for the night before heading back out into the wild.
Okay. You sit down at because you're also kind of outside of the wall, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So this
I
place
don't
you sit
belong
down.
inside the wall.
No, it's fair. So this place is more of there's a table that somebody has put basically like in the street, with a number of chairs around it. He's still bringing food out from a grill kind of close by. Similar to Tars, this one is you know, some eggs, maybe a little bit of a smaller portion of meat with some beans or something on the side, maybe some crusty kind of bread. Um, I think I said 3 cash for the other one. We'll keep it the same for about this one. Um, you maybe even get like you maybe even get a bit of a watered down cup of a bean juice of some sort. Not cat dropping kind, just the regular jittery kind of kind.
Splurging in the city.
Yep.
Bean juice and eggs.
And as you're sitting there, a mustachioed fellow comes and sits at the table. Um, Currently, it's just you sitting there. He's just kind of like, "What ho, my good man? You look like the type who could be good at defending things."
I want to disagree because defense and fighting is not my strong suit. But I feel like for the sake of the story, I should say
Well,
absolutely.
you're a strapping man of some sort, right? Certainly, you look well. You look better set to the task at hand than myself. And as you
That I'll agree with.
kind of up, kind of eye him up and down, he looks like a merchant of some sort. Kind of portly. His face is kind of like tight from how kind of thick and heavy set it is. His jowls kind of move. He's just kind of like I'm looking for people to take a caravan of mine. Yes, Hillary, it's a twisty mustache. Of course it is. Um, I'm looking for some people to take a caravan of mine, full of vampire wines and Livingston bricks, to the last Saray to trade it directly with the Spectrum satraps. Um, I'm going to need guards of some sort. The job will be for 100 cash for delivery on safe arrival at the Sarai, and then you can go about however you need to from there, if you are so interested.
Do I have any idea where that is?
I mean, you wander the wastes, right?
Generally speaking, yes.
Generally speaking.
Okay, yes, that
Um,
is exactly it.
so generally the last Sarai. Do you kind of know like how far do you typically go? Do you kind of go for like a week or two out from the city, or do you go slightly further? Kind of come
Oh, it
back.
wouldn't be further than that. Certainly not on my own.
Okay. Um. So typically, you know that the last Sarai is kind of a little bit further west than you typically kind of go.
Hmm.
You've never been there, I don't think, at least to this point. Because you typically kind of only go as far as maybe the Porcelain Citadel, on like a bad trip because it's a little bit far. Um, and it really like it involves going through kind of some of the steps. Um, but yeah, you know the last Sarai is a little bit beyond that, but you're not 100% sure how much further. So you figure it'd probably be a journey of, a good 4 weeks, maybe one way, 4 or 5 weeks.
Sign me up.
Oh,
Sounds like a grand adventure.
wonderful, wonderful, my good man. Also, if you can find anybody else who would be able to help guard the caravan, it would be much appreciated. People aren't really jumping at the offer anymore.
And why is that?
I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I guess the money must be better in just running stupid stalls and whatnot.
It does seem to
They're
be
kind of
around
like
here.
huffs and just keeps going back to like making food. Oh,
Do I know anyone who would fit the bill? Tars, perhaps, my old buddy, the
yeah, we never established. Do you guys know each other, or are we trying to force a new relationship into being here?
I mean,
does
we
Tars
fill
spend a
different
lot of time in the
roles.
wasteland? Yeah.
Yeah, Tar's probably hops like tries to hitch on to longer, slightly longer trips. So we haven't done that too many ventures together, but maybe your longer ones I've joined in on, help navigate.
There you have
Well,
it.
if you do find anybody, meet me outside uh, the we'll meet at the outer gate in 2 days' time. My name is Wojer, the RFD. Um, bring whoever you can find, and we'll figure out. If we have too many guards or too few guards, when we meet in 2 days' time.
Excellent.
Excellent, excellent. And he hurries off.
Well, right. I guess I will spend my remaining afternoon uh, looking around this open air market for any faces I may recognize from the wastes or grasslands, from the grasslands.
We might also, I mean, I know I'm not there with you right now, but there is the idea of hiring help, which would likely be at a um, station, like, I'm trying to, not like a job finder place. There's
Job board?
there's a they have not a job board, like a there's a word for it that I'm blanking on.
Yeah, you'd basically be looking to hire henchmen. Um, what does RFD stand for?
A
Does
temp
not have
agency.
a temp agency.
That's basically what I'm thinking of.
A wasteland temp agency. Who do you call when you're in the middle of the desert and there needs to be changes made to their contract, or you need to cut them loose?
Accidents happen all the time in the desert.
Yeah, but if you kill them, you don't get your deposit back.
Deposit on the intern,
Probably. Why not?
the temp.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, no, I would just like to, spend my day wandering the the open air market, looking for other, I'll say, vagabonds, and also try and find a place to stay for the next 2 days, I guess.
All righty then. I'm going to need 2 more minutes again. Sorry, gang.
Okay.
But yes, we'll keep playing that out. So we'll be right back. All right. So we were going to go find a place to stay for the next 2 days. I'm gonna say I assume probably in the afternoon. Then the two of you run into each other.
I mean, I was
you can
sitting eating in the same area. I probably wouldn't be too much of a stretch to say we bumped in.
Sure. You hear this very enthusiastic merchant get up and run away from the table, and you kind of turn around and you notice your buddy sitting eating at a different place.
Ah, please come join me.
Yeah, he got bean water. You didn't.
I don't know. I mean, I'm splurging a bit. Maybe I'm like having a mimosa or something,
Ooh.
or something a little bit more out there.
But are you in the market for work right now? Had a very strange man come up and say he's looking for people to travel to the last Sarai.
Last Sarai. Ah, the
100
last
cash
Sarai.
for delivery.
It's been some time since I've visited there. I'm sure there's some new rumors around, and being paid for the trip is always a bonus. That does sound tempting. What's the nature of the work?
Guarding caravan, making sure it gets there safely.
Well, Sliver, what do you think? Sliver squeaks. Or snorts. Squeak snorts. And I say, yes, that does sound wonderful.
Oh, as I understand it, we're leaving from the west gate in 2 days' time.
Yes, and then if that is the case, Tars, so the last Sarai is a large marketplace, meeting place of people buying and selling things.
Sounds right up
To
Tarzan Alley.
bring them around to different places. Yeah, I mean, not a bad place to be set loose with 100 cash that you get from a successful delivery. That's for sure. Oh wait, I'll leave that up to Mike. Does Jorah? How much does Jorah tell Tars the job is for? Are you being truthful for everything?
It certainly sounded like I was.
I heard 100 cash. Split 3 ways, right? Because Sliver gets a cut.
Was 100 per guard, but okay.
I think it's 100 ahead.
Oh, excellent.
I hope it's 100 ahead.
It was 100
Otherwise,
ahead.
we might have the short end of this stick.
Okay. So that means you guys basically have a free day in the city. Is there anything else? So, I mean, the two main things that the Violet City is known for otherwise is basically cats and drugs. That's about it. Yep.
If there are some recreations that are not the excretions of some other animal, and I know I have a day off, I might go wander, maybe partake. I don't know. Is my little income from my storytelling gonna Gonna cover me for a day of a day of fun?
I mean, yeah, depends. Um, so there's a lot of different drugs in the city. Um, the cat coffee is one of the ones that is a little bit more um affordable, shall we say? Um, if you want something a little bit cheaper, maybe won't last as long, but might make for a fun day, you could go for something like a Felix Whiz, give you some pep to make your day more productive and fun filled. Or maybe you want a purple haze to basically just kind of like you know mellow through the entire day.
That sounds about
Um,
right.
Everything else though is a little bit more expensive and outside of kind of the $30 range that you were able to bring in.
Fair enough. I'll probably I'll take the next morning, maybe hang around the wall, see if there's any easy targets, but around kind of mid morning, probably give up and see if I can find any old pals with some purple haze.
Um, yeah, I mean it's not hard to find. It's not like it's not policed necessarily in the city.
Okay.
Especially not in kind of the western part of the city. Um, so yeah, you're able to find an old associate. Um, it's he's effectively a statue that's sitting on a bench. Um, Old associate of yours. Um, I can't think of a good name for him at the moment. Otherwise, um, but typically, you know the way that it works is you kind of roll the bill up into a small little tube. You put it in kind of the middle of his fist, as such, uh, and you whisper into his ear what you're looking for, and then after about 30 seconds, you hear kind of a clink, and then his jaw opens up, and you get a little packet. Um, and so the purple haze um, is uh, it comes out. So you get this little bag of like a dried herb of some sort. Um, and because I mean, assuming if you've had it before, you take out your long kind of spliff pipe to smoke it in. And yeah, so that costs you 20 cash. You get to have you had this one before? Or are we saying we'll say it's a new experience in game, so that's fine. That's fun. Roll a d6 for me, please, sir.
All right. 2.
2, you get 20 experience for
Ooh.
smoking the drug. Um it kind of just like uh kind of just mellows everything out. Takes all emotions you're feeling kind of across the board, just kind of lowers the intensity of everything. Um you're just feeling not particularly bothered about anything at the moment. Don't really feel like doing a ton either. I need to make you do a test. What
Sit down
test
next
do
to
I
the
need?
statue.
What
Start telling
test
the
do I
story.
need to make you do?
Ah, Pete, you were always such a good listener, you know?
Boop 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 boop. Oh God. Well, Oh. You make a test. For what? What are we doing here, gang? Do you have a save? What's your save value, Nick?
What is my save value? I have not calculated it. And I do not have the rule up for.
Okay, then let's do an endurance test.
Okay.
Let's just do
Suits me.
that.
Oh, saves is just blind luck. It's 13.
Hmm.
Oh, plus whatever ability. So I guess if it's an endurance save, then I would add my endurance and hope for over 13.
Sure, I guess.
Yeah, suits me.
All right, let's do that.
Oof. That's a 1 plus my endurance of 1.
Great. Well, I hate to tell you this, sir, but you are now hooked on Purple Haze.
Oh boy.
Um, it's just a weak kind of addiction.
Mhm.
So you know, nothing major. But we'll deal with the fallout of that when we have to.
I was gonna say I wouldn't know that just yet, because
Exactly.
I won't know it maybe till we're out in the
But now you
waves.
have to add the addiction and a drug supply tracker to your character sheet
Okay.
somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah,
But you
I'll.
do. Cool. All right, Mike. What are you doing with your free day?
I don't know. I want to keep looking through the market. I want to look for anything odd. I want to look for old tech.
I want to look for old tech. A. Well, um, old tech, old tech. Um, okay. Sorry, I'm trying to find something cool if that's what you want.
It's the problem when you got a big fun book to go through. Sorry, if that's I can just spend my day. So like an opium den type thing.
Of course. You gonna go do some drugs?
You get experience.
You do get experience. Okay, sorry. So yes, you find an opium den of sorts. Cool. Okay. Um.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you find a den of some sort. Um,
A house of ill repute.
yes.
Wait, that's a different thing.
Um, you see in kind of the main room a lot of people smoking purple haze, similar to your buddy there. Um, just kind of lounging around, hanging out, having a nice time. You see a door at the back.
I will spend my day there.
Cool. Well, if you would like a toke of purple haze, you're gonna pay 20 cash for it.
Yeesh.
And then you're gonna roll
Well,
a
when
d6.
in Rome,
Yeah, you're gonna roll
roll a
d6.
d6.
Yep.
6.
Cool. That's 60 experience.
Ooh.
And then you need to do an endurance save for me, please.
Right. And that's what we said is a d20, and I just add my endurance, right?
Yep.
That is a 4.
All right, you guys are rolling great so far. So you're
I
also
rolled
addicted.
better than Nick by 1.
Yep. So you're also addicted. Figure out how that works.
It's going to be a rough few nights.
And also because you kind of went searching for more of a weirder space for this, as you're kind of sitting, lounging, smoking, you realize that this chair that you're sitting in is kind of very uncomfortable. And as you kind of like move yourself around, you realize you're sitting on something. Um,
Hmm.
it's kind of somehow gotten worked into the fabric or whatnot. And you pull it out, and you realize it's a fossilized skull.
Hmm.
Um, it's got some carvings on it that seem to be inscriptions of the blue god's accursed iconographs.
What on earth does that mean? Or do I even know what that means?
Got a little plaque across the teeth saying,
Yeah.
"Here
That's what it
find the blue gods."
Yeah, no, it's just got a weird symbol. This whole thing is a PSA. Yeah, don't do drugs. Except when they give you experience.
It's an experience,
And it's
all right.
always an experience.
Pretty much. So you yeah, it just like it's got like there's a big symbol inscribed in the forehead of the thing. Let me see if I can find an actual picture of it. Where's the blue god? Nowhere. Great. Okay. Um, I don't know. I'm picturing it like basically a large circle with like a square inside and uh maybe like a water symbol or whatnot. I don't know. But yeah, it's a skull. It's embedded in the chair. Who knows? But anyway, do you guys care about anything else for the day or are we skipping to the next day?
Yeah, I don't think I would be trying to accomplish anything more. Maybe go find a bit more food. Um, Actually, maybe wander to. Are there like camps outside the city or anything like that that I could hang out at?
Yeah. Yeah, so just outside the wall, there is an exile camp. Um, not really much to it. It's kind of a bunch of tents. Um,
I'm gonna say I bring like a small gift or whatever. Maybe this is probably somewhere that I've visited fairly regularly.
Mhm.
And maybe I'll hang around and just keep an ear out for rumors about what's going on in the wastes lately. See if I can be a little extra prepared heading out tomorrow.
All right. Here's my D20. Nope, that's not it. Okay. Yeah, you're not really hearing anything too interesting. Um, Basically, a lot of them are just kind of saying that their voyages lately have been pretty dull. Um, Nothing but cat coffee plantations and blue land or peasant small holdings, as far as the eye can see.
Got to go further to find the real adventure.
Exactly.
I'll hang around with them. I mean, if they're camping out here, I might get warmed up for the trip and sleep under the stars.
Nice. That's always a good idea. Next morning, you guys meet up at the gate, and the wonderful Mr. Wojer, the RFD, is suddenly there, with a caravan of sorts. Um, he comes forth leading a God, I didn't set this up. Uh, caravan page.
Leading an auto golem thunder rig, right?
No, no, he is not. Here we go. Um, you have a classic two-wheel wicker and aluminum covered cart. It has, where's my D6? Oh my god. Why am I even trying? Okay. It has strange stains on the side. Um, he also comes forth with 3 beasts of burden. Uh, he's got a goatalope, a mule, and a donkey. Um, we'll say he's got like 2 donkeys, 2 mules, and the goatalope. Um, he starts hooking the goatalope up to the vehicle. Um, and basically it's just kind of like, uh, you know, I guess pick if you want a donkey a or a mule, to ride. I thought there might be more. Bro free delivery request for debit transactions. Radio frequency denervation. This is gonna drive Hillary nuts, and I'm very happy about it.
I'll take a mule.
All right, you step up and you pick a mule. You gotta give him a name. We'll name him Carl. Um, and he has some kind of a genetic heirloom. I don't know what that means for a mule though. Maybe like a necklace of like a jawbone.
Maybe
Can you
it's
do
like
that?
an extra ear.
So We're gonna have to take a break, guys. I got it. Hello, friends. Yeah, sorry about that again. You know, it's a kid. Anyway, sure, Hillary. We'll say it's the first one. So we were working on Mike. What animal did you pick for your steed?
I was going to take the other donkey.
I think Nick took a mule. So
Oh, then one of the two donkeys.
okay. And your donkey needs a name.
Barnabas.
Okay. I need to do a roll for him, but I need that page again.
That's where you need those stickies that act as bookmarks.
Yes. So you pick Barnabas, and he has a favorite fruit. They will say his favorite fruit is durians.
Interesting. And exotic.
Yes, it is.
How on earth did we learn that this donkey's favorite fruit is durian?
Because Wojer would tell you.
Okay.
Wojer would tell you.
This is Barnabas, and one thing you
He
should
likes
know.
durian.
Yes. He also hands both of you a bog standard pro hiker kit, which contains toiletries, zinc sunscreen, tent, sturdy walking stick, Greenland army knife, a hat, mustache wax, kangaroo bag, schnapps and wineskins, nifty cord belt, and a sturdy backpack. They also each the hat in each one. So Nick, you get a sombrero, and Mike, you get a bowler hat.
I feel like that's kind of backwards for the characters we're playing.
Yes.
You know what? This looks like maybe this was meant to be your here. You...
Yeah, I'll give you the bowler back.
Okay. And then you've got enough supplies.
Outside town.
He's basically set you up with, we'll say, 4 weeks of supplies.
Each?
Yes.
Are there any
For
other
you,
caravan members?
For your horses and for your other caravan member. You do have somebody who will be driving the main cart. Which you see him having some people load up with some barrels. Yeah, 4 weeks. He is loading it up with some barrels of vampire wine, and a bunch of crates full of what you assume are Livingston bricks. You also see him put some kind of a bag into like the bottom of one side of the cart. And as you're kind of looking, he says, "Now just remember, the vampire wine and the Livingston bricks are to be traded with the Spectrum satraps over there in the Sarai. Please make sure they get it. If they get it, you'll get your payment. This bundle, which he points to the thing kind of in the inside portion, he's just like, don't worry about that. My main man Jonathan over here," and he kind of taps the driver on the shoulders, just kind of like, this is something he's got to take care of. It's a little bit more of a personal business, not involved with the rest of the product. So just don't worry too much about it. All right. Well, seeing nothing else, please be on your way. I'm excited for you to complete this mission and make some cashola for yourselves.
And so we're expecting about 4 weeks to get there,
Yes.
right? Uh, will we be able to resupply um, using caravan funds for our return journey?
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand what your question is.
I see here you've supplied us for the journey to the last Sarai, but I also expect you'd like us to return.
My dear boy, I could care less what you do after you complete the delivery at the last Sarai. I mean, be free to go where the wind takes you from there.
Oh,
You do not
Jonathan, will
you
you
do
be
not need to
accompanied?
come back since Jonathan is coming with you. Um, I will have word of how the mission went.
Ah, Jonathan is returning with the cart.
Well, eventually, yes.
And Jonathan is to give us our pay when we arrive?
Sure. Let's say that's how that's going to go. Jonathan will do the dealing of selling the goods, and then he'll pay the both of you.
Well, no time like the present.
Two of us and one of him, so if he tries to rip us off. What's Jonathan look like?
He is a tall, scrawny old man who is bent over kind of the driver's seat of the cart. Kind of like quietly stroking the goatalope. Gonna feed you guys to the vampires, probably.
Not if we get him first. Okay, yeah, let's hit the road.
Okay. So you guys start on your way. And without even being a day's ride out of the city, you both start to hear a voice that sounds like it's kind of coming from everywhere at the same time. And it's kind of like, hey, psst.
There's a voice. It keeps on calling me.
Hey.
Yes, I believe I also hear something.
Oh, good. Okay, you both can hear me. Look, would either of you be interested in making some real motherfucking money?
I look at Jonathan.
Jonathan is not saying anything. He is not looking any different.
Oh, I have a thought. What happens if I pull out that skull I found?
You pull out the skull.
Is it the thing talking?
Nope.
Oh.
I think
You hear the voice kind of be like, "Oh, that's cool. Where'd you find that?"
Sliver, were you hanging around with the cats too much? I think.
Yep.
I think loudly. uh, More money sounds good to me.
Look, all I'm saying is that these idiots don't know how much this stuff is really worth. And if the two of you are willing to take a little bit of a risk for me, we'll be able to make even more money on this product, and I'll cut you in a little bit more than what did he promise you 100 ahead?
500.
But no, don't pull me like that. This whole caravan isn't even worth 500. Okay.
That's why it seemed so strange at the time.
Well, then he's obviously lying to you. So I would say don't trust that. And look, I know I'm just a disembodied voice floating around in the two of you's heads. I
So
get
you're
that.
aware
It's
of
not
that,
the
are
first.
you?
It's not the first time it's happened. So look, when we make camp for tonight, I want you to poke around in the caravan, and you should find me, and we'll talk. You'll see I'm real, and you'll see that it's a serious situation that I'm presenting to you.
So are you in the bag?
Maybe.
I'm gonna be honest. I was going for that bag as soon as it was dark, anyways. So.
Night falls. Jonathan hitches up the goatalope to a tree and puts the blocks under the cart wheels to stop it from potentially moving. Sets up his little tent, and pretty much immediately as the sun goes down, passes out. He doesn't speak to either of you, by the way, either through this thing. He's just kind of like, whatever. Yeah, and now it's night.
I don't give him an opportunity to talk because I'm just telling big stories
Of course.
the whole time.
The whole time you're telling you, he's just sitting there, like looking at you, being like, yeah.
And have you heard? I will. It's Jorah, right? Yeah. Jorah. I will. Are you awake? Are you going right to sleep?
I am going to sleep. Are you going to go check out this package?
Oh yeah. Are you on board with that?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not going to stop you if that's the question.
So you go over, you climb up into the cart. You find the package is kind of nestled, like I said, along the one side, kind of in the bottom. And as you kind of try and wrestle the thing out to get a better view of it, it's kind of oddly shaped. But as you kind of get it up and get it into your arms somehow, you kind of walk down the steps of the caravan and I guess put it on the ground and kind of open the wrapping around it. And as you're kind of doing that, it's just kind of like, yeah, you got it. Keep going, bud. You got it for sure. And as you open the wrapping, you're staring at a jet black metal axe. And as you stare at it, you just kind of hear in your head, so, what do you think?
Sorry, what did you say your name was?
I mean, I didn't, but thank you. The name's Blood Drinker, from the ancient drinker lines.
Ah. You have a cousin like water drinker?
Oh, so now you're a wise guy? Water Drinker was my father, but okay.
I see you've chosen a different path.
Look, man, we can't all decide what we're forged into, okay? Kind of gotta play the hand we're dealt,
So what are you proposing we do to make more money?
Well, it's quite simple. I say we peel off from this idiot over here, and you somehow sense that he's gesturing towards Jonathan's tent, even though it doesn't move at all. There's gonna be a point when we're driving through the plain, okay? We're gonna hit the porcelain citadel, okay? And he's gonna tell you we're gonna go west and we're gonna go slightly north, following the porcelain river to get to the last Sarai. When we get to that point, I say we don't do that. Instead, we're gonna go southwest towards the Trail of Vomish Dreams. If we pass through there, I got a guy down at the Grass Colossus that will pay us double for this vampire wine and these stupid bricks. And then there's more money for everybody all around. It's like I don't know. I don't know if you know how well do you know Wojger there, your boss that you're working for.
Oh, I just met him yesterday.
Oh, great. So then you wouldn't know that he's an anti-machine fascist, would you?
No, I suppose I wouldn't.
Great. Well, all I gotta say is that they're horrible people. They're just absolutely horrible people. And I mean, part of the reason why I'm in this predicament that I'm in here is because they found me and they captured me and trying to schlep me out of the city before I was able to, gain any kind of footing. To really kind of take them on, strategically.
So you're a politically motivated axe.
Yes, that's the best way to say it. I mean, look, kid, I've spent many years, I mean 957 to be exact, using violence and bloodshed to destroy my enemies. And it's worked. It's worked well for a time. But only recently I've found the true destroyer of lives is commerce. So I figure we go after these anti-machine fascists guys where it hurts in their pocketbooks, and we do that by controlling trade. Now, obviously, I figured out something right, because this Yahoo and the people that he works for found me out, kidnapped me, and smuggled me out of the city. Right now, I mean, if that's not an obvious story, I don't really know what is.
How long did you say you had been alive?
Oh, about 957 years.
I imagine you've seen some incredible things.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was hanging on a wall for a very long time, probably about 300 of those years. But yeah, some of the stuff you see is pretty fantastic.
I'd be most interested to hear some of those stories.
Well, look, you help me out. We go along with this, and I will gladly talk your ear off, since especially I can talk into your brain and can do it at all times if we want to.
Well, I don't want to betray the trust of my associate, so perhaps I'll discuss this evening or in the morning. And I start to wrap the axe back up.
It's great. Look, take your time. We're not gonna be over there. We're not gonna be at the Porcelain Citadel for a good 3 weeks. You got some time. Think it over, mull it over, make your decisions. I get it, and no hard feelings. If you decide not to go the way that I want you to go, I'm a big boy, magic black metal axe. I can find other people to help me reach my goals if I need to.
Okay.
Just do me a favor. Don't wrap me up fully when you pull me back in there, because I need the sunlight to, like, help me to live and stuff.
Oh, right. That's a thing that is pretty, like, that would be pretty common knowledge, right?
Of course, yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Okay.
Sentient axe. Of course, it needs sunlight.
Okay. Yeah, I'll leave it a little bit unwrapped
Okay.
and go to sleep.
Okay. Mike, how does Jorah feel about this?
Jorah's asleep.
Oh, great. Okay.
Having some wicked dreams. Oh, by the way, I think speaking of our little addiction adventure, I think we're supposed to be making I think a very difficult check.
I believe so. What
When the
the
hero
addiction?
runs out, they have to make a very difficult test weekly. Well, maybe at the end of the week. I don't know. It's up to you, I guess. Whether it's...
Weekly.
Yeah. I mean, for the moment, like you already kind of failed it. Um, so unless you guys purchased additional doses to bring with you, I kind of assume through this first week, second day, you're immediately kind of feeling like the cotton mouth a little bit. The brain fog kind of starts to develop end of day 2 and day 3. Yeah, it just makes the ride a little bit more unpleasant.
Tars
Okay.
actually stops talking for a few hours.
Internally, Jonathan's just going, "Oh, thank God." Okay. I kind of want to maybe call it for tonight. Because it's been very weird, and I've dropped a lot of stuff on you guys. Um, and I kind of I wanna be able to think about it a little bit. Do either of you guys have any questions about what's happened?
Yeah, but I don't think I need to have them answer.
No, that's great. Okay.
That's a
I'm
good
okay
way of
for
putting it. Yeah.
Well, thank you to those of you who've hung out with us. Again, this is a little bit different for us. Um, you check back in next week to see what happens with the mystical magic axe. And whether these two find more drugs. I've been Cody. We've been Corporate Crash Course. You can find us on Twitch and YouTube, and at CCC RPGs on Instagram and Twitter. So until next week, have a good one. See you later.